Welcome back to No Nonsense NLD weekend. Best weekend of the year if you're a fan of hashtags and a fan of hype, because this was definitely hyped.
It was definitely hyped. It's the best weekend also of the year if you are Eze, who has now scored more goals in 2 North London derbies than he has in all of the other games he's played for Arsenal.
Yeah, really strange that he tends to score in these games. Now you might say, "Hey, maybe Tottenham are a terrible team," and there's maybe some truth to that. They certainly made Arsenal look good. I remember I saw comments after like the Wolves game and whatever the Man United game and stuff, and it was like, "Doctor Tottenham can't come soon enough." Like people were like, "We're going to win this game. It's going to be great." Like they were marking down direct. Well, obviously we win this one easily, and I guess they did in the end, but there was moments where you think maybe, and it could have changed, it could have swayed, but I mean, ultimately Arsenal were a lot better, and like I say, Eze, you can't even get a start some weeks. He scores 2 goals, and then Gyökeres, who is, again, technically the top scorer, 10 goals in 26 games. I was doing some quick maths. That's a goal if you count in his Champions League. I think he's got 4 and 6 in Champions League, and cup games or whatever. Again, don't forget on for the quadruple here, Will. That's very much on. He scored roughly a goal every 2.6 games. So I think they have minimum like 12 more games to go. So he'd just be kind of peaking above the 20 goals a season, because his XG is pretty much where he should be. He's not above or below. This is as good as he is. So
Look, he can absolutely tear through Tottenham, but other games you won't even know he's there.
Yeah. Look, if you've had the misfortune of watching some of the worst Arsenal games, they don't create a lot of chances. So that would affect the XG too. And the goals he scored, they were the kind of goals that I saw when I looked up the Sporting 2024-2025 highlights. That's the kind of goals he would score. A great strike with the ball, able to hold off people, run at people, and we just haven't seen him do that, or maybe get the opportunity to do that. But if you said, look, you're going to sign this guy for 70 million euros, I don't know, give or take, and he's going to score 20 plus goals a season, and you're going to be late stage of all competitions, you'd say, yeah, I'll make that deal.
And you would say, like, okay, now, seeing as you know the future, is that going to be any better or worse than Sesko or Ekitike or any of those? Like, all the same, pretty much.
Yeah, because I was very high on Voldemort at the start of the season, but he's kind of fallen off a bit. They're kind of, I mean, Newcastle, I thought they were going to have a better season than they were. Sesko, I guess he is young, but he hasn't really worked out this year, so he's got time. Ekitike, I always go back to that Isaac thing. What a disaster that was. But when he plays, looks good. In other games, he doesn't really deliver either. So I'd say he's no better or worse than anybody, really. Probably, again, I think when I saw him first playing, he got some of those tap-ins, like the ball played across and he kind of tapped in from the penalty box. Like, that's what they said they didn't have. They said they need a centre forward to get those kind of goals. If he does that, if he scores 20 goals doing that, that's what 60 million gets you these days. It's not going to get you fucking, Ronaldo or Zidane or Pogba. It's like, that's what it's going to get you. It's going to get you a capable centre forward. Like
totally fine.
And again, you look across. I mean, I'd say maybe probably João Pedro is probably the only other big money signing, but he already had played in the Premier League, so maybe a little bit different. But he's done well also. But yeah, there's not like a example of loads of other strikers doing well. Like Thiago's doing very well for Brentford, and Haaland, of course, is still the top scorer. But it's not like he's been the worst striker of all. So he had a great game, and maybe Tottenham just made him look really good. I don't know, but it could be a turning point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big result. It did feel like we were entering spooky territory for Arsenal after 2 games last week. Wolves and Brentford, drop points in both of them. Drop points in spectacular fashion against Wolves as well, with like one great goal, can't do anything about that. But I mean, the second goal, everyone's bumping into each other, people are all over the place scrambling. That is like pure panic stations, it felt like. So it coming into this game, it did. I mean, if Spurs had gotten a result here, I think it was all over. But like you said, I think Spurs are just... I really noticed that watching this game, and I was like, oh, they are really bad. And I put it into our chat earlier. They have an entire starting 11 that's unavailable or injured at the moment. And it is literally their best starting 11. Like, all of those players are gone. But so many times in that game, they would get the ball and they'd just hold it up, waiting for something to happen, and they'd lose it. Or they'd go for a run and they'd lose it. They look terrible. The worst I've seen them all season.
Yeah, they are missing a few. Definitely in defense, I think is probably where they're really missing. They're missing Romero, who through his own fault, to be fair. That wasn't unlucky. That was just Romero doing.
Yes,
he did the good and the bad with him. We're missing Porro and Udogie. Madison, okay, look, he's not the most likable person in the world, but he is decent. You know, he is pretty. And okay, they bought Xavi Simons this year, so would they play together? I don't know, but yeah, they're missed a few players there. Obviously, changed the manager. They've got the fixer in now. He's going to turn around like he has before. But did you see that clip of Van de Ven just blatantly ignoring him? It doesn't look good for Van de Ven to be ignoring two managers in a row here. I mean, do you think you know it all, Mickey?
Well, when I saw that clip, the impression I got was, oh no, Van de Ven is already checked out. He doesn't care if this club goes down. He's not going to be here next season either way.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, you should know that like your every move was being recorded here. Like when he was not listening to Frank, that was he definitely knows that was going around. You know, so if the manager's like, please, like if you're a good player and you think I'm getting out of here, all I have to do is just like go down the ship here. You know, don't try and be a hero and try. No, I'm not listening to this guy. I'm better than this. It's like, well, you're coming fucking last. You're also getting relegated. You know, so you will hold blame for that no matter what happens. But if you have like a tag as like a player who doesn't listen to the manager, and you know, no one's going to want to sign that either. So, I mean, you couple that with the injuries he's had, it doesn't make him the most exciting prospect for someone to sign up. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought that was a bad look for him. A bad look for Igor Thiago. Or not Igor Thiago, sorry, Igor Tudor.
Igor Tudor.
And then, yeah, I mean, like, I guess the two big moments in the game was the equalizer and the disallowed goal, both involving my man, Colin Muani.
He had a great game.
the tentacles of that 2023-2024 PSG team, just they're everywhere, Will.
Yeah, everywhere. It's amazing how often those players who we didn't know at the time, but we're just like, that sounds like a good team. It's incredible how often they come up. It's like, oh my God, this is the absolute most unfortunate crop of players I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was the players that were the problem for once, you know. A lot of times it's not. It's like, it's the structure of the club or the management. No, it was the players. Those players that PSG bought weren't good enough.
Who was PSG's sporting director at the time that he's like, I'm thinking Ugarte, I'm thinking Colomboani.
Gonzalo Ramos. He got a great goal for the equaliser, but it was, you know, obviously Arsenal go 1-0 up. Eze with the goal. Celebrations. This is great, you know. And then Rice says, everybody stop. Stop celebrating. Listen to this. And he does the Gerrard. Don't let this slip. You know, points to his temple, every lock in, and 24 seconds was it later on? He's in the defence for some reason, and loses the ball to Colmani, who runs in and smashes in the net. And there was a great shot of Rice afterwards. Did you see? He was like, "Sorry guys, that was me," and then he has that kind of like,
I wasn't locked in.
He does the Tom Cruise psycho smile in. Of the like, he's just like smiling like, you can just tell like he's just painfully aware of the clip. You know what I mean? He knows this is gonna, as much as he probably knew that him putting his head to his temple, this will be a great moment for the documentary. You know, when we win the league, he's like, this is gonna be memed. This is the one.
I think as well, Spurs missed a trick. I don't think Moani was fully locked in, because I think Spurs could have won that game with one simple move if, after that goal, Colin Moani, as a joke, gathered the Spurs player together and was like, oh, everyone lock in. I think they would have won 5-0 just because Arsenal's head would have been on Mars after that.
Yeah, but they do need to lock in because they might get relegated, like
Yeah, that's true. You can't be joking.
before the game was like, oh, will Arsenal do this or Arsenal going to bottle it? And then after it was like, Spurs are going to get relegated. This is crazy. These are a bad team. Like, I thought they were too good to go down, but like they didn't show much at all in that game, bar Rice mistake and the I suppose again the Colomani disallowed goal. Now this is a particularly sore one for Spurs, as I'm sure you've seen, Will. But if people haven't seen, Ekitike scored a goal against them earlier on in the season to make it 2-1, where he jumps up and pushes Romero in the back, heads it in, goal given. He has to do better there. He's got to be stronger, that kind of talk. And in this game, Morani rises up and puts his hand on Gabriel's back. Gabriel kind of sells it, we'll say, and goal disallowed. So it's like wonderful for them, wonderful for us. Big clubs get the decisions, whatever you want to say. But that really was the kind of only moment in the game, I think, that you would think that was. Now, look, that would have made it 2-2. So that does change it a bit.
Yeah, and it would have been late in the game as well, which I think, later enough in the game where panic would have set in a little bit, just from the last two results Arsenal had. But that's when I saw that disallowed goal, and then I saw how bad Spurs were as well on top of that. I was thinking, like, they really might go down because, look, like, lots of bad teams stay up. But a lot of the time, unlucky teams go down, and they've got a combo of, like, they're really unlucky this season. Lots of injuries, lots of decisions against them. I know they're the least fouls to card team in the league. So, like, every 3 fouls, they get a card. Whereas I think Man United is like every 9 fouls, they get a card. Things like that, where it's just like,
nothing new there, Will.
It does feel like things are against them.
Yeah, it can start to kind of build on you a little bit. It feels like everything's against you, for sure. Now, the only thing I will say about that the difference between the 2 fouls, TK jumps up and heads it in the air, and you're kind of challenging in the air, hand in the back, sure. And I think that probably was a foul. This one, he puts his hands back, push, hands back, whatever you want to call it. The ball then lands to Colmani's feet, where Gabriel would have been standing, and he takes a touch, and then he kicks in. So it looks a lot more like you've pushed him over, and then you have that's why you have the ball at your feet now. If he was still standing up, you'd be still compete with the ball. You wouldn't have it so easy. But when you just jump and you head it, there's a lot more of a scope for that's competing for the ball. If you push him over, you get the ball on your feet, and then you kick it. It's like, well, you pushed him over and you kicked it in. It's slightly, maybe, a little bit of difference, but not really. But yeah, I think that's what maybe gave the VAR that kind of partial thought. Whereas the other one's like, you can't really give that,
And there is the thing of, like, I do feel like every season some teams get hit harder with VAR and stuff than others, and feel like it's because the more bad stuff happens to you, the more you complain, the more your fans complain, the more the club complains. And then I think VAR do get a bit of like, well, like, we can't just let them get away with stuff because they're complaining. They are foul. Like, that's a foul, obviously. You know what I mean? Whereas I think if they're just going under the radar, be like, I don't know, it could go either way. I feel like teams just get punished for, for complaining when things don't feel fair.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Obviously, you try and be neutral and you try not to be biased, but and I think that's why they tried to bring in the kind of as much as for respect referees, which this problem has been going on for like decades, and only now they're like, actually maybe only one person shouts the referee at a time, because it does like affect your decision making on the pitch, and like the VAR then feels some pressure and we've heard it like, oh yeah, my mate's down there getting shouted at, so I didn't want to pull up a thing that make him get shouted at more. So there's like, okay, right, try and stop the shouting, maybe, and let the refs take him in to think about things for a second. That's why I like say the goal in techno was perfect, because it was literally a line in the sand. It was like, yeah, just the robot on the watch. There's no complaints. There's no kind of debate about it. Whereas this, it's like, yeah, if there's a team that's complaining all game, you are a bit, you feel like, I don't be influenced here, but then you are being, But like, for the record, I do think both those things were fouls. I think they're both pushes in the back, and they both should have been given. I'm just saying the reason that the Colin Morani one was given was because it landed his feet rather than hitting the air. If he does that and heads in from there, I don't think it's called. Even though I think it will be a free as well. But I think that's the only reason that they called it.
It's similar to the Romero red card a few weeks ago as well, where it's like, yep, that's definitely a red card challenge. But I mean, you do see that happen all the time, and it's only a yellow. it's bad stuff. Like, it feels like things are going against them, but they are all correct decisions. It's just that it's not always the correct decision for everyone else.
Yeah, well, it's the one thing that you want from referees that you'll never ever get, which is consistency. You know, and maybe it's because all the games are televised that you can see. Well, what about this game here? You know, like anybody can just pull that game up on their phone on TikTok and then screenshot and go, "The refs are corrupt." You know, like it's
look at this ball hitting this player's hand in this screenshot. What does this tell you about the refs
from 2021? And then look at this one, and it's like, oh, okay, you got me, you got me.
We did mention there as well, Declan Rice getting this team to lock in.
Yes,
I spotted this. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who saw this interview because I mean it is ripe for memeing or criticism. If things go wrong for Arsenal, this could be a point where it all started. But Declan Rice had a pre-match interview, sit down, and one of those ones Sky like to do where they're kind of sitting casually on sofas together in a weird hotel lobby.
Yeah, poorly lit kind of hotel lobby vibes.
Yeah,
always.
Really dark.
Yeah.
And he was being asked, you know, about the two bad results against Wolves and Brentford. And the first thing I thought was like, why are you doing this interview? Like, maybe you're contractually obliged, but like, no good can come of this. We'll play the clip here.
So, Declan, we're speaking about, 36 hours after the Wolves game? Head still spinning a little bit? You're still processing that?
Yeah, really, really difficult to process in the moment. I think right now, I processed it, digested it. Obviously, because we have such a big game on Sunday, we can't dwell on the other night too much. But from our standards, it was to be 2-0 up with half an hour to play. You know, you've seen us in games this season. We either go on to win that 3 or 4, or we see the game out of 2-0. So to come back and for them to come back and draw 2-2 was sickening and very, very disappointing in the end. Us as players, trust me, if you were in there the other night, you would see how much it means to us. Yeah. And that's the level we need to be at, because if you want to win stuff, you need to be able to demand stuff of each other and say truths in the moment, you know. But 5-10 minutes after that, you know, you'll shake hands and, you know, it's over. But that's what it's about, you know. I've seen documentaries on top teams over the years and how they push and demand from each other, and when bad moments come, saying something and getting something off your chest that you feel can actually help the situation.
At the moment, 2 wins in 7.
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, it's obviously not looking good on paper. My thing is, I've looked yesterday at the results that we've had and the goals we've conceded, and I think the goals that we're conceding were self-inflicted goals. I think this is my 10th season in the Prem. I would probably say this has probably been one of probably is the toughest in terms of that it's been.
Do you mean the quality, the physicality, both?
I think the quality, yeah. I think a lot of people have an opinion that the Prem is not where it is. The Prem is not where it's at a minute. But you could ask any player in the Premier League, they'd tell you the opposite.
Yeah, I do remember Walcott came out with something similar years ago where he said, yeah, just a couple of senior members of the team and myself had a chat and we figured it out, we sorted it out. It's like, we'll say that again at the parade, pinpoint when you fix the season, not when you haven't won anything yet. You know, so to be saying, yeah, we had a chat, we've come together, we're stronger for us, like, don't be taking the victory lap before you win it. Do you know what I mean? Just like, look, next game, and yeah, okay, it might be contractually obliged. I'm sure there's probably something like that you have to do, or, you know, but I just feel like you could be difficult if you wanted to.
You could be like, boring. Don't say anything. Yeah. Come back to you. Don't say the words, let it slip, ever.
Yeah, that's. But I think he must be thinking about that. He must know about that. It's like subconsciously like the Gerrard thing. Don't let this slip. You know, it's a common enough phrase, but it's not that common a phrase.
Yeah.
He's definitely thinking about it.
He's thinking about it, but then to do it during the game as well. Like
That's what I mean. It's
huddle and-
constantly in there thinking, this is a good thing to do. But then, like, I know this from Gerrard, not because it worked.
Yeah. It's never worked ever.
It's just, it's so like you're just a hostage to fortune then, like, 'cause anything can happen. You know, like, so to do that so publicly, I mean, okay, yeah, I think it's fine because this game they went on and won 4-1 and it's all good again. There's 12 games left. So it's not like if they were to win the next two, no one's like, I remember a few weeks ago when, like, you know, but yeah, I just think don't be doing that kind of performative stuff. Do you know what I mean? For like I don't know. I didn't like that at all when he was doing this. And then immediately after, it was like, you fucking idiot. What are you doing that for? Making a show of us out there.
It's funny because Arsenal really do gets thrown at them a lot, like their performative celebrations, and even when they could see the goal. Remember against Aston Villa where they all dropped to the floor, slamming their fists on the pitch. I've never seen anything like it. It's really strange because maybe it's just a case that they do want it so badly that they are like over the top dramatic actors. Like they're just doing everything. They're living and dying by every moment. But it just feels so weird watching it.
Yeah, because I know there's external pressure coming from people and they've been like anointed, like theirs to lose. Like the game week 8 was like, Arsenal's to lose, better not blow it again. But they're obviously not handling it well internally. They're not like shutting down shop and like, again, if you wanted to, you could say no more interviews with Sky, lads. You know, they're all out together.
Don't tell them anything. Yeah, if you have to do one, just be as boring as possible.
Yeah, or don't do it and I'll take the fine. You know, I'll pay the fine. You know, you could be fucking difficult about it. But yeah, when you see this and you see like, what was the other thing I was thinking of? Yeah, my abiding fucking memory of this season will be Arsenal players, particularly defenders, both arms in the air, trying to get the crowd going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're thinking about stuff that they don't have to think about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're worried about like, come on, let's get this. Like, fucking play the game. Don't take maybe a minute every single time when there's a corner. I mean, that'll get the crowd going.
There was an incredible save from Raya at one stage as well that the goal line technology showed. Like he pawed the ball.
Oh yes,
Richarlison
yeah.
back heel off the line, and like unbelievable save. But the Arsenal defenders all ran over, like celebrating, clapping hands with him, patting him on the back, and then they were like, they did it for an extended time, like way longer. Like Tottenham were setting up for the corner, and they were still like, "Yes, Gabriel, come over here. Yes, you do." It was.
That's to me. I think the internal pressure is building amongst them all, and they're all like, "Everybody just calm down and focus and tune in."
Bust. I think
Yeah.
there's a big moment coming where it really hits the fan.
Well, they have to play City. Obviously, that's it's in Arsenal's hands, but it's also in City's hands. So, you know, they have to beat City. You would think they also have to play Chelsea, who love ruining things for people. It's kind of
That's
like,
their whole thing.
kind of a pillar of their whole club, pillar of their whole culture. They're ruining things for the people. I know Chelsea also play City, but it's just like this kind of pressure you put on yourself and talk about letting it slip. And yeah, I just think you can see it on them. Like they're not cool and collect, like, you know, whatever happens. We know that what we're doing is right and that we're good enough to win this. It's like every game is, oh God,
Yes.
this one.
Yes.
If we just win this one and then 11 more, we'll have it. It's like, it's just, you know, they don't, and maybe I'm just projecting my own anxieties onto this, but I do think they're not dealing with this external pressure internally very well. I think it's all starting to build a bit on them.
I don't know if you saw Pep being interviewed before the game. He was asked, like, is he going to be watching this one? I'll play the clip here.
I said to them, guys, what do you have to do? The mental courage, you know? Take a lot of caipirinhas, daiquiris in these 3 days. Enjoy life. And after that, make a proper 3 training sessions and go to Leeds. That is a proper way that always we did it. Because you say, no, if you win here, and now Arsenal will do that, or Aston Villa, and now we're going to do it, and after that, slap in your face, and what you thought is completely the opposite. That is what you have to do. Win the next game. And if it doesn't go well, keep going. Never give up, and still, because 10 games, 11 games still is a lot of games in the Premier League. A lot. A lot.
The difference of like, do you think Declan Rice is drinking daiquiris and caipirinhas after that Spurs game? No way.
Declan Rice is a teetotaler. Well,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
he said he'll win. I think he said if they win the World Cup, he'll have a pint.
Oh yeah. He said he didn't like
Again.
the smell of it. I remember that now.
Again, performative stuff. You know,
yeah.
I'll have a pint of lager with the lads. Maybe it's like, shut up, Declan. Just be yourself, man. All right, don't try and be, you know, whoever himself is. You know, he doesn't know that sometimes. He can get confused who he is, where he's from, who he likes, what he doesn't.
When you think of it, actually, too, all the Ireland stuff is like posting up the ra and kissing the badge and stuff. Like, you don't have to do any of that, man. Relax.
I know,
one's
yeah.
judging you.
Yeah, but it's whatever. He's got issues for sure. He's definitely struggles with something. The big test will be City, and City. This is, I guess, the experience. It's not about like, I don't know, that they're not good players, but it's just like the cams. You're like, I guess Arteta is not a calm guy. I don't think he is going to be having points. But whatever about the players, I don't think Arteta is going to be relaxed at any point from now until the season. So that if his team is molded in his image, it is, because the likes of Gyökeres and Saka and Eze, they're not allowed to, score goals anymore because he wants to control what they do. So yeah, I think it's all coming from that. And God, it's just, if they do win this, which I don't know if they will, I feel like it's just going to be like utterly joyless, because
At what cost? Yeah.
the overwhelming sense of relief will just exhaust people. Like, oh, thank God it's over, and no one's going to make fun of us anymore. And also people like, oh yeah, the worst ever Premier League title ever, the worst ever football. I mean,
and like, we've joked about that, the worst, like it's always a bad league when your team doesn't win it. But I don't know if you saw that stat going around where they are the lowest point league leaders at this stage of a season since Leicester. Like, no, I don't think any other team in the Premier League has been this low, which is like, that does point to, but I don't know if that points to it's a weak league or an incredibly strong league. So I don't know.
yeah, well, that's it. It was like the Premier League is the best league in the world. And at different stages, it's because they had the best players. And then it was like, oh, well, you don't have Ronaldo or Messi anymore, or Iniesta or Xavi, and Suarez is there. It's like, yeah, well, it's most competitive. Fucking anybody could be Elche. So it changes on what your narrative that you want to spin is. But yeah, I mean, I think it's again that, like, the Wolves game, which obviously we missed. We were away for that one. But like, to be 2-0 up against Wolves and like, right, take to the corner in the 70th minute, that doesn't help when you're trying to like score goals and record point. That's not how you get that. Do you know what I mean? You're just going to eke over the line if you're trying to. That was the first time the top place team drew a game when they're 2 goals up against the bottom place team in the Premier League. I know, a very obscure, possibly even meaningless stat, but what I would take from that is that,
sounds bad.
yeah, it's not that Wolves are the best ever team to get relegated. I mean, they're not the worst, I don't think, but still, it's just it points more to a kind of an anxiety and a fear of success almost, than, oh, it's just every team could be any team on their day, So yeah, if they do win it, I think it's going to be derided as, say, I mean, people, not so much anymore, but remember the Liverpool COVID title, the asterisk, like, it's just, that is just part of it. When it's Man City, everyone can relax because, like, oh yeah, well, fake club, 115 charges, doesn't count. But if Arsenal or Liverpool win, it's like, well, now we have no excuse. Now it's fucking
Exactly.
But if you could say, well, you played shit football, it was a weak league. Liverpool got the weak league stuff last year, and now those Liverpool fans are saying weak leagues. Like, well, doesn't that make your league kind of invalid? Or, it's just part and parcel of it. But I think it really is getting to the Arsenal players. I don't think they're able for this. And I did, now, to be fair, some people do get radicalized. I was talking to a guy today, and he's like, yeah, well, it's just a style of play, isn't it? It's just so boring. I was like, and how was the style played 3 years ago when they came second? Everyone was just gleefully enjoying them come second. How about when Martinez scored 15 goals and everyone was like, oh yeah, no, this style play is boring? No, I don't think so. I think it was just that they're not your team.
I like the idea of you absolutely losing it on some guy
in the canteen, yeah. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. All right.
How many goals did Martinelli score 2 years ago? Didn't hear you complaining then.
I literally said I didn't hear you complain about the style play 2 years ago, and everyone was like laughing. They came second, bottling this, bottling that. You know, second again, ole. So don't give me the style play. You forced him to do this. You forced her into this. You know, he saw Saka score goals. And by the way, Saka for this like the most overrated player I've ever seen. Every time he gets the ball, no matter who he's playing, he's double or triple marked every single time. So like, if you're so shit, why does everyone keep double marking him? But I do think Arteta saw like, you know, all these players scoring goals and maybe Kai Havertz could break 10 goals this season. He went, hang on, we're not going to win anything doing this. That's just fucking.
This is a big waste of time, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't need to do a stat pad. I need to win games. I need to set pieces. I need to, you know, bring this down to the most basic level and just grind out 38 games. And that's what I need to do. Because I don't want to be the only. I want to be, like, you don't want to be the first manager to finish fourth or finish second 4 times in a row. You know, that's what he's looking down, and that's probably where the whole anxiety comes from. Arteta's own fucking career, you know. So they've been forced into this. Okay, so I don't want to hear the style of play because last 3 years everyone was just loving it that they came second because it was City and Liverpool and all the rest of it. So yeah, that was the NLD for the second time this year. Pretty good for Arsenal and for Tottenham. I think they really do need to worry. I think it's not looking good.
I feel like this is the first time in as long as I can think of where, like, because when Leicester went down, even then it was like, I remember them also being down though and coming up, so it wasn't that crazy. But like, this one's mad and it really feels like it's coming.
Yeah. Now the only thing is West Ham drew at home to Bournemouth, and then not Forest, they lost Liverpool in also contentious fashion. But yeah, I mean, it's very tight at the bottom. Still 12 games to go, still a lot of football to be played. But I just think the injuries that they have, Tottenham, that they're not going to be back. Like Odegaard's gone for the season, Madsen's gone for the season.
Kulusevski
gone for the season. Like these aren't like, oh yeah, in a few weeks they'll be back. Which is also what Ange kept saying. Remember that he was like, he had 3 weeks, you know, they'll be back. So I don't know. I think they do need to worry, but I think it's probably between those 3 teams: West Ham, Tottenham, and Nottingham Forest that final spot. I know Brighton are going pretty badly since Christmas, but I'd be surprised if they got dragged into this all the way back down. So
they have some kind of Ecuadorian left back you never heard of, ready to pop out of the wings.
You think of Pervis a Stupian, Will?
Thinking of Pervis a Stupian.
And he didn't sell himself. Yeah, I think people are saying like, oh, this might be a good thing for Spurs to get relegated. You know, a wake up call to the club that they can't just keep doing this. I don't think it will be. I think it could.
I think it'd be a financial disaster.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, this club is doesn't have an identity, doesn't know where it's going. They need to get relegated to, you know, a good kick up the arse. Like that's not what you want.
Normally, like, generally when teams do get relegated, bigger teams, sometimes they'll come back. But like, if you think Newcastle, like, yeah, Newcastle came back. Newcastle were also bought by the trillionaires, though, to help them along their way eventually, keep them up. Newcastle could have kept spiraling as well. Like, but I mean, think of like Southampton and Leicester and I mean Leeds. Like, there's so many teams who, when they go down, they never really come back.
Yeah, Leeds were a bit unfortunate, I guess. I kind of like Nottingham Forest, just kind of lost out at the wrong time there as the money exploded and the gap between the Championship and the Premier League really extended. And obviously they had, you know, financial issues as well. So it was just a bad timing for them, and it took them a long time to get back, like you're saying. Newcastle, I think they are a club that know what they're about. You know, it's obviously very much around the area and the fan base and the city. So that's, I mean, them going down, it's not as bad. But for Tottenham, when you're like, yeah, we don't know who we are as a club. We have a massive identity crisis. Everyone's still talking about Poch, which was like now almost 10 years ago. You know, it's like, that's not a good time to go down. Even with their stadium and the fan base and all the things they have, I just think that's not something you need to help. That's not going to help the club in the long term. I think what would help the club long term is to stay up. And like, if this is, whatever, last season say, oh, that was a blip, and it was a crazy manager from Australia. He was ruining everything, but we won a title as well, so we couldn't be that bad. But I think you put this season into it as well, and you go, yeah, like the Kane, Son, Dele Alli, Vertonghen, those years, that was like a special team, and that was maybe more by mistake than by design. And maybe that will, 2 years of this now, they'll say, okay, right, maybe we do need to have a little look at this, because obviously they've lost Dan Levy, who was doing a lot of the kind of the building and all that. So yeah, I think the worst thing they do now is to hire Poch again and be like, yeah, we'll go back to that. It's like, you need to figure out how to go forward and to be a different type of club, I guess. But I don't think relegation would be good for them. I don't think that would help anybody.
No, yeah, I did see an incredible take as well. You mentioned there about having their giant stadium, and we'd said before how mad it'd be to have that giant stadium in the Championship. I saw a take online that their stadium is too nice, and that because of that, because they've really bad home form, but it means like obviously away teams are traveling there. They get there, it's beautiful. I'm sure their away dressing room is beautiful. The away section's gorgeous. There's loads of space. The drinks are pouring upside down. Everyone's in great form, and then they just absolutely hammer Spurs because it's so nice.
It's a theory, Will, but I'm sure there's other dressing rooms that have nice away ends, away dressing rooms. I mean, I don't know.
I just thought that was so funny. The idea of like Arsenal pulling up to the stadium and being like, this is beautiful, by the way. Can't wait to play today.
Yeah, again, it could be either way. It's like, oh, you're loading yourself a false sense of security, and if you pull up to a shitty dressing room, like, oh yeah, they're trying to focus and it might drive you on, So I mean, I don't think that's the problem, to be honest. It's a good take, but I don't think it holds any water. Ireland news, I guess, kind of. Maybe we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but why not, I think the game is a month from now. So 23rd today, the game's the 26th. So a month and 3 days, Ireland play Czechia in our semi-final of the playoff round to get the World Cup. So maybe we shouldn't care about what's happening in Mexico just yet. But if you are planning your World Cup trip this summer, it's not looking good if you were planning on staying in Guadalajara.
It's very funny to imagine someone being like, all right, look, I want to go to the World Cup. I'm not going to go to America. Too dangerous right now. I'm not feeling that right now. I'll just go to the game. I'll just go to the Mexico games. And then all hell is broken loose there as well. So now that's 2 sections. So North and South America now. I don't know. What would you describe it? Under the cosh.
Their backs against the wall here in Guadalajara. Yeah, the El Menche was killed by a joint Mexico Army and U.S. intelligence operation. He was killed. Kind of like that movie Sicario. If you ever seen that movie Sicario, it feels like that. And just like in that movie, all hell is now breaking loose. And Guadalajara, where he was based, he was based in Puerto Vallarta. Well, I was actually over that side of the world, of course. Yeah. Very nice place when I was there, Guadalajara. Now, obviously, it's famous for like being where he lived, and it was teeming with
bubbling over. Yeah,
that was only 2 years ago, I guess. So maybe the operation was beginning then. I don't know. They were gathering intelligence, but it was very nice when I was there. Jalisco, nice part of the world. But yeah, I remember we were going there from Mexico City, and I had really bad food poisoning. I mean, look, street food, it feels real romantic and nice and exotic to get, but I mean,
looks good on YouTube. Yeah,
yeah, fucking hell, man. So we're flying then to Guadalajara the next day, and I'm just like, I'm there in body, just about. What's left of me is there, and I'm standing in line, and it's like, boarding Q7, boarding Q8, or the fuck, whatever the tickets you bought. Obviously, we did buy 2 tickets together. We want to waste the money that'd be, So I was like, oh, I guess I'm in this one and you're on that one. So I sent Sarah to Q7. I'm waiting at Q8, and I'm just standing there zombified. And I'm like, all right, I'm not moving. What's going on? And I looked over to the other queue, and it's gone, and the gate seems to be kind of closed. And I was like, huh, where am I? And as I get close to the front, as my cue's getting close to the front, I see my cue's actually going another direction. And I go, oh no, I'm in the complete wrong queue. So I run over the gate and like, oh, I need to go to, and it's like, it's closed. I was like, oh, but I have to go. And then I look out the window and the plane is literally like moving away. And I look, because again, I'm on my phone. I look at my phone and they're like, did you get on the plane? I was like, no, I didn't. And she, like, obviously that's just like
how?
Classic. Yeah. You were in line when I left. What did you do? I was like, I'm still here. So yeah, I sent her off to Guadalajara on her own. Well, I was just zombified in Mexico City airport. And yeah, like I was like, okay, right, I better go. I better fucking book another flight, see what the next flight is. I was walking along the fucking the hallway trying to find an empty seat, because obviously this is Mexico City airport, so it's like full of people going all sorts of directions. And then some kid comes behind me and taps on the shoulder and goes, you dropped your passport. It's like, oh, thanks, man. Like, I was like,
you've got your shit together, kid.
Like, I can barely function here. I can't even hold on to I had my passport in my hand. I just like, okay, dropped my passport and walked away.
I love
God knows what.
The kid like tapping you, is like giving you, and he's like, man, you can't be losing that. He's like 4 years old.
More or less. I don't remember. I just remember he tapped on my shoulder, gave me the passport. So I sat down on the seat and had to book it, and I got there eventually. But yeah, once we got there, it was fine. You know, it was. I watched the Killers of the Flower Moon actually in Guadalajara cinemas. It was nice. But yeah, it seems to be kind of in flames now because of this the killing of the El Jefe. So it's kind of a mad build up to World Cup. Like, obviously, we don't remember all the World Cups, and there's been, you know, World Cups in
Russia.
kind of war-torn areas before. Russia, of course. I mean, like I said, they already invaded Ukraine at that point. And that was where they fucking... When I think of Euro 2016, what was that? Those videos of the Russians absolutely battering people at a tournament. Was that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, maybe it was the Euros they were hosting, but that was my memory of that. Or was that the World Cup? It was when my two memories of that World Cup are one, all the Russian ultras in training for, and then videos of them battering random sets of other fans off the streets. And then my other memory of that World Cup is Russia running harder and faster and stronger than anyone's ever ran in a football game.
But I guess it is the cartels. It's the most storied gangsters in the world at this point, I think, even more so than the mob. I mean, there's been so many fucking shows like Narcos and Sicario and stuff like that. So I don't know. And then, of course, the whole America side of it, which is like the tariffs and like, I mean, well, a few months ago, America was going to war, a trade war with Mexico and Canada. We were going to freeze them out, and they meant to hold a tournament in the next few months. And now you got this whole fucking thing.
And I think that trade war, I assume that's back on, because now it's a global 15% on all the countries, because the other one, because I think the tariff rates that he had was couldn't be passed. It's illegal. You can't do that. But I think
they're deemed illegal, yeah.
But I think globally you can. There's like a loophole. So he's like, oh, that's even better. That's more annoying to everyone. So that's happening. And yeah, like we said, like, so the Ireland are playing in Guadalajara airport at the moment, and all of the motorways into Guadalajara are currently under cartel control. There's some insane videos I saw on TikTok earlier of like essentially armed men blocking all of the doors of the airport with people inside, and they're like, our airport now. Just so, I don't know how this tournament's going to go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know the history of when this happens. When someone like this, head of a cartel, gets killed, what is the cartel's time frame for relinquishing control back of the main infrastructure? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it 4 months? Is it 4 weeks? You know, when will things be back to like a normal touristy kind of vibe like when I was there, you know? I don't know, but it's definitely good preparation. Like, okay, you were thinking America, oh, I don't know, ICE raids, visas, you know, I'm going to rush over to America, I don't know. But like I said, Ireland games, if we get there, if we win 4 more games, it's going to be Mexico, and it's going to be Guadalajara, and it's like, ooh. I know, again, not to bring it back to me again, but when I was going to Mexico, I was like, oh, fucking hell, be careful there, bud. Like, it's not where all the fucking cartels are. I was like, nah, it's grand. Like, I mean, what I read was, and what I researched was like, it's all near the border. Tijuana, obviously, very rough spot. Chihuahua up there. Like the closer you get to the border, that's where the drugs are going, you know. But down Guadalajara, I mean, it's not that close. It's not too bad. But as you can see, they're all waiting there to just kick off at any moment. They're like, tomorrow we're taking over the airport, lads. I'm like, yep, let's do it. Let's get in the back of the Toyota truck and let's get the guns and we're taking over the airport. You know, it can happen at a drop of a hat. So, yeah, if you were thinking of going over there and making a bit of a holiday of it, I don't know if you would anymore, you know?
No, and I mean, like we said, I wonder what the timeline is for this type of thing. And I also wonder what is the end goal for this type of thing. Because it's like, is this just the cartel, you know, being like, right, that's it. We're just taking over. We're going to show you that was a bad mistake to kill our boss. Or is this, if you have your tinfoil hat on, more of a like, let's destabilize Mexico for a few years thing?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't help Mexico. It doesn't help their global image, we'll say. Which, again, like, was pretty bad because of all the, you know,
cartels,
movies, and the propaganda and stuff that we put out there. Like, this is a really off place, and then you know there is obviously drug smuggling and all the rest of it. So, but to be fair, I mean, I think during the negotiations initially between Trump and the Mexico president, he was like, you know, all the fentanyl come over here. It's like, oh yeah, well, where are you getting all these guns from? You know, don't you make a lot of guns? How do they get? Where are all these guns in Mexico from? I was like, all right, fair enough, you got me there. Like we're selling all the guns to you. You bring all the drugs over here. It's maybe a mutually bad thing we're doing. But like, yeah, I do think it's not ideal lead up to World Cup. You know, maybe people playing Canada might be all right, but I mean, other than that, it's like,
what are the odds that the Ireland game is in Guadalajara? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, heaven does not want us to win this game. That's for sure.
We're not supposed to go to the World Cup. Those Troy Parrott goals were never supposed to happen. We said at the time, this never happens to us. There's a reason. Yeah,
it did feel like a shift in the timeline there, an unnatural shift when you got that last minute goal. Like, this is actually incredible. I don't believe this. This is unbelievable.
This feels like someone sold their soul in some kind of monkey paw situation.
Yeah, and then of course, like we said this before, but if we were to beat Czechia, we then are more likely put head to head against Denmark. And it was like, oh wow, this is the story of the World Cup. Denmark getting to the US, and it's like, oh no, Ireland get to go instead. It's like, they have the power of narrative behind them. You know, they have plot armor. How are we going to beat that?
What's going to happen is we're going to have two more miracle wins, just in time for the whole world to be like, well, we're boycotting the World Cup in the US, and also no one's going to Mexico anymore.
Yeah. And again, I'm sure there probably is ones from like the 70s. Wasn't there like a dictator in charge of Argentina in 78 when they won it? You know, but maybe it's just because we see it all now so instantaneously. But it does feel like, because before it's like, oh yeah, maybe this thing is kind of calmed down, the whole like trade war and stuff. It's maybe settling a bit. No one's going to boycott. Now this is kicking off. So it's like, it really is edging towards like, this is untenable. We can't do this. Like, this is not going to work
in these countries. Yeah.
It was ambitious to begin with, but like now it's war on the streets in two of the host countries. War on the streets.
Do you know how bad it's gotten that even with what I know of Gianni Infantino and how just slimy a man he is, when I saw the Mexico stuff, I was like, the poor fella, he must be really stressed right now.
He did to himself. Yeah. He didn't need to do this. You know, it didn't need to be America. And he wants to be in Qatar. He said he'd rather all be in Qatar.
I mean,
you know?
He's probably thinking that. I fucking knew I should have went to Qatar again. I told him.
If this had never happened in Qatar, he's thinking, that was a great World Cup. Remember that? Take me back, he says, to 2022. What a World Cup. Mexico at Christmas. Or Messi at Christmas. Doesn't get any better. So yeah, look, we'll see how that goes. But I feel like there'll be something else before June comes around. Because
Canada's next.
Yeah, Canada invades America fully. Yeah, but there was one other story, Irish League story. Again, not a good story. It was the Loud Derby, Dundalk versus Drogheda. And it was Dundalk who had the new pitch, am I right in saying that? An Astro pitch, full of flammable rubber and plastic. But look, we get bad weather. It makes sense. All the pitches. What was the minister's name that came to unveil it? What was that guy's name?
Let me get it now. Was it the minister? Is he the Minister for Sport? Minister for Sport, Patrick O'Donovan.
He was there to unveil the pitch with a comically large scissors.
A big novelty check.
Big ribbon, scissors. Great day out for the whole family. And draw fans, ultras fans, I don't know. They lit flares, threw on the pitch. Pitch went up in flames. And okay, look, it's not great, but I think what's made it national news is that it was partly funded by taxpayers' money.
In the year 2026, people do not like to hear your money has gone to waste. We have less of it than ever.
Yeah, were we saying this last episode? It's not about keep up the Joneses, it's about killing the Joneses.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. That's how tight money is. So if you think that your tax euros are going up in flames at a bloody soccer match, you know, it's the rage bit writes itself. You know what I mean? It's going to get people going. And yeah, I think the minister, like I say, he was there. He was loving
Had
it.
a great time.
Wow,
He put up
Minister for Sport. how sweet it is. You know how great this is. Novelty checks. This is all I ever dreamed of, being a politician.
Yep. You know what? I'm enjoying it so much. I'm going to have my handler put a nice reel together for my Instagram. Whoever's following me, whatever freaks they are. Look at this. Look at these flares. What a derby atmosphere, he said.
Yeah, and then he was on RT Radio, I guess, doing damage control. It was like the fucking the thick of it. You ever that show where they like just they got that was always like putting out fires. This one obviously not. But yeah, we'll play the clip of him on RT just going DEFCON 1. What's the highest one? Midnight.
The government had given €500,000 of an investment to Oriel Park following a sports capital grant application. And it had only been opened, I suppose, less than 20 minutes from the formal opening ceremony, and the next thing, it was on fire, and it was gougerism and thuggery at its worst form, where people obviously came to the match armed with flares, armed with missiles, to cause criminal damage, and in the process, as you said there a while ago, a young child got injured, got burnt, and the pitch got very significant damage caused it. So taxpayers' money literally going up in smoke. Yeah. And I've spoken to the FAI and the league about it. And I've spoken to my own department. We're not going to be doing this a second time, to be quite honest about it. I've asked the department to pause all AstroTurf investments into League of Ireland clubs until I get what I would see is a sufficient response from the FAI and the League of Ireland to not only to protect our investment, but to protect innocent patrons as well, because this was reckless endangerment as well as criminal damage. This sort of thuggery and hooliganism can't be tolerated. Whether there was a government investment here or not is irrelevant. Yeah. I mean, most people would find it absolutely bizarre that you go to a match where the fire brigade are on standby. You might have St. John's ambulance to protect players, but you wouldn't, or the Order of Malta, but to actually have the fire brigade. Now, if it wasn't for the fire brigade, the pitch probably would have gone up completely. And the pitch designers and the people who installed the pitch were there. Everybody was disgusted, and I know that there's a valuation being done today. But one thing is for certain anyway, I won't be paying for the damage.
That's it. No more money.
Yeah, Declan Rice-esque, I think. Almost performative. That like, because he was there and he was loving the flares. And then it's like, well, I didn't know a child was burned, you know? Like that was, I think that was maybe the turning point. If the pitch got burned, all right, money goes up in flames, taxpayers' money, blah, blah, you know.
Okay. The pitch was going to get used anyway. What do I care?
Like going over in flames in about 100 years anyways, you know, from use. But the detail of a child getting hit in the face with the flare and getting a pretty nasty burn from what I've seen. Again, I don't want to cast aspersions, Will, but in the world of AI, I didn't fact check it, to be honest. I just Googled it, saw it. So, assuming there is a child that got burnt in the face, you do need to come up with a strong response. So, you can't be like, look, these things happen. So, I get it on one end, but to say...
Look, it was a great atmosphere, yeah.
But to say, like, no money again, you know, it's...
For the whole league.
I'm pausing all Astro funding pitching, or Astro pitch funding. It seems a bit reactionary. I don't know, but yeah, it's a bad look. It's just, I think if it's Irish soccer, anytime there's like taxpayers' money involved, there seems to always be something that's like, oh, look what you've done this time. You know, you've squandered this money somewhere.
Yeah, and it's funny as well because obviously big novelty check. Again, it's so rare that the League of Ireland gets big government funding for anything that the Minister for Sport was there in person to show off the new pitch. So for it to then literally go up in flames seconds later, and then it would be like, this fucking league, you're embarrassed me again. It's just incredible stuff. Because I saw a lot of people pointing to, because again, he said he's pausing all funding to the League of Ireland until they sort this out. I don't know. I'm assuming he means until they outlaw flares or something, or I don't really know.
Yeah, but it's, you know, whatever, the two sides. It's like you know that scene in Casablanca where the corrupt chief priest comes in and he's like, I'm shocked about it. There's gambling going on here. Yeah. He goes, you're winning, sir. And he goes, thank you. Like, you can't put reels in. These flares are class. And they go, oh, I know flares burn things.
Yes.
Like,
and I mean, it's not just him who does that. The League of Ireland are guilty of doing that as well. They're always like, no flares, that's it, no more flares. And then in all their promo material, whenever there's a game on in the Aviva and all the promo material for that, it's flares. Every YouTube video for the League of Ireland is flares. And it's because you see it and you go, that looks fucking sick. That looks like it's in Argentina or something.
Yeah, it looks like fucking the orcs from Lord of the Rings. Like it's like, wow, what, that must be incredible to be in. You know, that's why it's such a good advertisement. But yeah, I guess throwing them on the pitch, is that the story? Was it kind of like premeditated that they're going to burn the pitch?
I think it was. There people say it's premeditated, but I don't know. I think it was, because there's always flares at the games and they always get thrown on the pitch. You know, I don't think it was an evil plot to destroy the pitch.
I mean, couldn't they just stuck the flares up their arse?
yeah. Like the more civilized World Cup fans.
Yeah, couldn't we have just stuck the flares up our arse, lads? Do you have to throw them? You know, there's better things to do with them.
That reminds me also, Spurs versus Arsenal, #NLD, someone threw a blue flare on the pitch. Whose was that?
Yeah. Chelsea?
Yeah.
It was the Chelsea fans, I think. Yeah, they ruined it. Wasn't there a thing before where someone sold Liverpool fans a blue
flares when they won the league? Yeah, there was an incredible video then of at the parade or
the
blue flares everywhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just good. There's a lot of good-hearted fun to be had from the flares. Just, I mean, you know, giving teams the wrong flares, setting fire to your rival fans' brand new pitch. It's good, clean fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to toe that line, isn't it? It's hard to like. It's like when there's a scrap. It's like, oh, this is great, you know. But if someone was to like get knocked out and have like permanent
shot with a gun, maybe.
No, like if there's a scrap of the pitch, it's great. But like, there's always a chance someone's going to get like punched so hard in the head that they have concussions for life and headaches always.
It's funny as well because, like, the minister obviously said, that's it, I'm pulling funding for the League of Ireland after this incident. I don't know if you saw what happened on day one of the League of Ireland this season a few weeks ago. I'm not sure which teams it were, but someone got their head kicked in on the side of a pitch. Like, a fan ran across the pitch, rival fans came on, big scrap, violent enough, like, stewards involved. But, like, I didn't hear a peep of that or, like, no peep about pulling funding for that. But it's this because, well, you've embarrassed me personally as the minister, so no more money.
well, that's it. It's like you go to people for comment all the time, but they say, "Listen, I wasn't there. I haven't seen it." It's like, but if you're actually there, put up stories, then you have to say something. Then you have the child getting hurt, which is obviously, you know, makes it way worse. And then there's the taxpayer money element too as well. So it's like three things: like you were there, a child got burned, and that's our money going up in flames. What have to save yourself? You can't be like, boys be boys. You know,
look, it's a beautiful game.
That's like, it's all part and parcel of the beautiful game. You have to come out strong. So yeah, I do get it. But yeah, is there Champions League this week?
God knows
what's happened this week.
Well, let's breaking news from the past. Man United 0, Everton 0. Haven't missed that in there, Cartel. That's good. Champions League. Yes, it is the playoff leg 2 of the, what is it, KOPOs? Is that what it is? Knockout playoffs?
Knockout playoffs, yeah, KOPOs.
POKOs? Yeah, not sure. The Copos or the Pocos?
The playoff knockout round. The
The Poco round.
KR.
Poker.
POKR.
Poker. That's what they should call it.
Poker. Yeah, that's happened this week. So we're going to be doing that on the Patreon. $4.50 a month. Sign up for that to get all the bonus episodes. Champions League, FA Cup, whatever happens.
Carabao Cup final, probably. I don't know when that is.
Usually on Saturday, I think. That might be on the money episodes. But yeah, look, anything extra happens during the week. Insurrections, cartel killings. If that happens,
whatever happens in Canada, yeah.
If that was to happen today, that'd be coming up on the Patreon, later on. So yeah, tune in for that. Sign up for that if you get extra stuff from us. If not, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Spotify. And yeah, get in touch anyway, direct message, email, whatever you want to do. Let us know your thoughts, feelings about the show, if you have any. Yeah, was there anything else, Will?
No, we didn't mention Prince Andrew and Peter Mandelson getting arrested, but we could save that for Patreon.
Again, the Andrew formerly known as Prince.
Yes,
he's been stripped of that. Which, in hindsight, now that was like just the preamble. Like, yeah, he's not a prince anymore, and we're kicking him out the castle. So, if you want to go search his hard drive,
okay, all of his stuff is out of here. Feel free to search away.
Yeah. Now he's like removed from us, and he's arrested on his birthday. Oh, on his birthday. And to be fair, I did say, look, it's just all out there. They've just shown everybody, here it is. This is how the world works. Deal with it. No arrests. There has been obviously arrest of Andrew Mamban and then Peter Mandelson as well, also arrested. There have been a few people stepping down, but I don't know if that'll be enough. I think there might be more arrests coming.
It's the business.
But I think
this is where they get that. They don't really care about the rest of the stuff. It's the, whoa, what were you breaking NDAs?
Well, this is it's like it's hard to prove those kind of crimes, especially if all the people involved were overwhelmed with depression and killed themselves. It's hard to get that to stick. It's like fucking Al Capone. Didn't they get on tax evasion in the end? Yeah. You got to follow the money, the paper trail. But to be honest, I think anybody in America will get away, and if they ever do get caught, it'll be in 2029 when this administration is out. So, yeah, good to see it. Not football related, but
nice though.
Good to see it. Yeah, okay. Well, have a great week, and we will see the Patreons, the Ultras, on Thursday, and everyone else next week.
Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.